Hello everybody and welcome to another video. This one's going to be about a new form of 3DMG that was added in the most recent update, which is 12.30.2014, and that's kind of led on into the first days of 2015 as well, with the latest update being 01.04.2015. But anyway, this was added in the last update of 2014, and basically it's anti-human 3DMG, and it's used by a group of people called the AHSS, which I'm not going to go into for the sake of spoilers. But basically, rather than having blades, it actually has guns. And a lot of the movement is still the same. You've still got your hooks, both hooks. You can still gas burst. You can still reel, albeit it looks kind of weird when it's coming from the arms. That aside, it's pretty much exactly the same 3DMG movement experience. So in terms of that, I won't actually talk about like how to swing around using 3DMG because it's pretty much exactly the same. You can still drift. The animations are different, but the mechanics are still the same. So instead, I'm going to teach you guys the real difference between the two, and that is the guns. I'm going to teach you guys how to use them. The anti-human 3DMG has two guns, the left one and the right one. These are both independent. So you can shoot the left gun, and as you can see, the bullets from the left one disappears, but the bullet from the right one does not disappear. So if I left click once again, that's when the right one disappears. At this point, if I click again, it actually reloads. Now I can also reload using just R. So if I just press R right now, it changes bullets. And another cool thing that was added also in the same update as anti-human 3DMG was I can reload in the air now by pressing R, and that goes for blades as well as guns. So for normal 3DMG as well, you can reload in the air. Now, the cool thing about this is that because these two guns are independent, the left one and the right one, if I shoot my left one, I can press R, but it only reloads the left one. So that means that you can often have uneven numbers between the two of them. And sometimes, your right gun will finish first and your left gun will finish second. Sometimes your left gun will finish first and your right gun will finish second. And the reason for that is because it's not set. Like, it just picks whichever one is the most comfortable to shoot with. So here, you've seen me shoot with my left first and then my right. But if I'm already hooked with my left and then I try shooting in the other direction, you can see that it's actually my right gun that loses its bullet first. And now if I were to reload that, you can see that I've actually balanced the number of bullets between the two guns. Speaking of which, when you start, you get 8 bullets on each side. I think that's a bit more than is shown in the manga, but it's functional in the game. So for that reason, I don't have any qualms against it. When all of those bullets are finished, then you can go to a supply station and refill that. The next thing that I want to move on to is holding left click. So here if I hold left click, you notice that he just did like a weird little head wobble thing. And the reason for that is because he's basically tracking the movement of my mouse now. Can you see how I don't actually see the side of his head anymore? Like, it just follows wherever my mouse is. Whereas if I go all the way, then his head kind of snaps around depending on where I'm looking. That's basically another new function that's been added. You might be wondering, well, what's that for? Well, basically, if I look from the top down, you'll notice that he's actually aiming the gun where he's pointing. This, I think, is a really cool addition because it then means that, if there's someone just around the corner, I can start holding from here, and basically all I have to do is I just have to go around and then let go. Boom, he explodes. So yeah, in terms of left click, that's pretty much all there is to it. Now I can also do this with right click, and as you can see, this actually does it with both guns. So you might be wondering, does this do what I think it does? And if you're thinking what I think you're thinking this will do, then you're right. Basically, he shoots both of the guns at the same time with an extra loud bang. And so that's really cool. I'm pretty sure it also increases like the target impact. I'm not really sure though if that's really a thing, because like as you can see, they're not aimed at exactly the same location. So it might, it might spread out damage area a bit more. I'm not perfectly sure what the difference is between left click and right click, but if you want to be a bit more comfortable when you're aiming at a human, then I guess the double click is a bit more useful. There is a range limitation to the gun, just like the blades. You can't hit anyone outside of the range of your blades. Similarly, you can't hit anyone outside of a certain radius of your guns, but it's not as small as blades. I've been doing some experiments, and I found it to be 20. I found the range to be 20. It might be bigger, but it's definitely at least 20. So, if someone were standing at the wall, this would be like an execution zone, I guess. I'd line them up against the wall and then bang, they'd be dead. And basically the bullet goes exactly where the cursor is aimed, If I was to aim just to the left of the person who's being executed, then I'd still miss. Which is actually canon, that's actually happened in the manga, so there's no point getting frustrated in game. And so the final thing that I really have to say on the guns themselves is that they can still kill titans, except unlike blades, where you can just attack the titan's nape with like 10 damage and still kill it, there is a damage limiter when you're using guns. So for small titans like this, 100 should be enough. For the smallest ones, like 3-meter class ones, it's 80 damage. Anything higher than 80 will kill it. For slightly bigger ones, it's 100. For even bigger ones, it's 200. And for even bigger ones after that, it's 300. There might be some slight variation on that as well. Of course, you know, I'm not perfect with the numbers here. I've still got to do some experimentation. But that is a rough guideline on the damage that you need to kill it. So for this one, I'd say about 100 is enough, hopefully. And so if I were to do an equator cut on this guy, there you go, I got 63 damage. Now normally that would have been enough, but in this case it wasn't. So we're going to try again. Hopefully he dies this time. No, he does not. And he does not, and that's the end of my bullets. So yeah, there you go. As you can see, it's much more difficult to kill titans using anti-human 3DMG, which makes sense. You know, this is anti-human 3DMG after all, not anti-titan 3DMG. It's designed to kill humans using guns, not designed to cut out the titan's nape. So you can play with anti-human 3DMG in pretty much any map. It's just there's some maps where you're not allowed to kill other humans with it. I think Annie is one of them. So you're not allowed to kill other humans with it. I think that's how it goes. But you are allowed to kill other humans in a lot of these other maps. Cave Fight and House Fight do not have any titans. It's just anti-human 3DMG versus normal 3DMG. The interesting thing about these two maps is that when you play as the AHSS or you play as your own AHSS character, which I'm going to go into shortly, you can't actually reload when you're in the air. So you have to do it when you're on the ground. And this provides a certain amount of downtime that allows the Blades people to kill you, which I don't know, I don't really agree with, but that's just the way it is. Now I did say just now that you can create your own AHSS character, which is the dude that I was playing with just now. So in order to do that, it's actually quite simple really. You go to character customization. There's no like specific option that says play as AHSS, but here where it says presets in the top left corner, you just have to press left once and you find the AHSS default guy. You can't change it to female right now. Hopefully Funk fixes that soon because I really want to create a female AHSS character. So you have to stick to a male. And then yeah, you can edit him as you please. There you go. Here's a AHSS Levi with a very silly mouth. And so yeah, all you really have to do is save it to one of these sets. I've saved mine to set 2, and then all I have to really do is once I'm selecting a character, I just click set 2 and off I go. There you go. Now I guess I'll add this as a kind of a extra little thing, but with the latest addition to Funk's game being human versus human PvP, there has also been the addition of the ability to hook onto other players. And basically you can hook onto anyone you want, including members of your own team, members of the opposite team. You know, there's no limitation whatsoever. Whoever you want to hook onto shall get hooked onto as long as you actually get the hooks onto the person. But I mean, like, it's really difficult to do, so the lack of footage in this department shall be forgiven, hopefully, by you guys. And so with all that being said, that's the end of this tutorial. Thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully this helped at least a little bit with getting used to the anti-human 3MG if you guys are interested in using it. I'm still not proficient with killing titans with these things, mainly because I use them to kill humans the way you're meant to. But there are some people who get damage in the thousands regularly, and I've got to say that it is actually quite some very, very cool stuff. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like, share with your friends as well as anyone else who you think will have something to learn from it. Comments, ask questions, oh god. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time with some more Attack on Titan tribute game tutorials. Take care guys.